Yo, what's up? You know, Tesla, they've been constantly improving the software. We all know that, right? So I wanted to see how much did they change based on at least my personal wish list. So there's a video from 2017 where I made 42 points or 42 wishes about what I would like to see changed in the Tesla software, right? And then I look at them today. I look at that list today and I try to figure out what did they change. And most likely they didn't change those features just because of me. They probably changed it based on many people's feedback. But alright, so this is actually the same list I had back in 2017. I haven't changed anything except for adding some colors. So blue here means they fixed it. Orange means they have partly fixed it, and red means they haven't fixed anything at all. So if we look here at camper mode, they have implemented camper mode. The problem with camper mode back in days was that, well, like I said, you couldn't switch off the lights. You have to put the car in drive mode and then put on the brake and stuff. So it was kind of clumsy system. And also the problem was that you couldn't be plugged in back then. And you can do that now. And also, I mentioned that there should be some timers so you don't completely run out of juice. So here I have a spreadsheet where I rate if they have done it, and then I give them point from 0 to 1. And also mention if there's a new feature. So Tesla did this. Maybe it should even get 2 points because it's actually better than the camper mode I wanted. Because you get more, you get the dog mode, for example, and the camp mode, and the key. You know what? I just keep it 1, I guess. Or maybe you guys disagree. Maybe we should give it 2 points there. Yeah, actually, let's give it 2 points. Okay, if that makes sense. Because they actually made more features than we originally needed. Okay, next one here is scheduled preheating. They also implemented that where, well, actually, you set a departure time, and then it will make sure that the car is charged to that time, and also it preheats the cabin, and I bet also the battery will be preheated, so you have regen and stuff like that. So they've done that. The only minus is that you only have one schedule. You can't make multiple schedules like you can in many cars. But I say, okay, we give it 1 point there, yes. 1 point. This one is 2 points, yes. Okay, anyway, charging screen, I would like to see more features in the charging screen. They took away some features like volt and amp for supercharger. That's a bummer. They should show more. They should show percentage and kilometer range simultaneously. And they changed the average charging speed from the start of the charging session to be the current charging speed. Yes, so I gave it a 0.25. Yes, they partly implemented it. Okay, here we have some red here. Faster auto brightness. When I run into tunnels, first we drive in Vestlandet, tunnels all the time. I still feel like the Tesla is adjusting way too slow compared to many other cars I've tested. So it's just, you can see in the slider in the screen in the Model 3, it goes in like almost it runs 1% at a time down, you know, and then up again. So sometimes by the time the brightness has gone down, then I'm out of the tunnel, and then it started to go up again. So yeah. Anyway, show energy users like the Kia and the Hyundais, but with battery heater. So still no feature of that. I would like to see motor power, the HVAC power, and also the electronics. None of that, unfortunately. And also the battery heater, if it's on and off, and how much it's using. But again, this might be some kind of expert mode we would like to see, because we don't want to confuse the users with too much information, right? So that one gets a 0. Now, open doors with fob without auto percent. It's in the Model X. Yes, I forgot to mention it. It's in Model X. It gets a 0 for me. The problem is that you can open and close the doors with the fob. Back in the days you could do that out of the box, but then because people accidentally pressed 1 time and they would close all the doors, bumping their heads, then they implemented that you had to triple click to close all the doors. And then that's the mode I used in the Model X. You have to triple click so you don't accidentally close the doors, right, when I'm doing nimber task. But in order to now open and close the door with the fob, the front door, the driver door, you have to be in that auto percent mode, which is kind of dangerous. There was one guy, the tram. I mean, okay, it was parked in Oslo, and with the Model X, and then he just walked around the car. He was doing something. The door opened. The tram hit the door. Whose fault was it? His own fault, I guess. It was user error. Yeah. So I would like to see that opening door with the triple click. Yeah, if you understand that. Adjust steering wheel up before exiting. So the BMW did that. I used to have a BMW 5 Series. It did that, but they implemented something better. Let me see, which is easy entry. When you have you can have several profiles in a car. This is also unique. Most EV, actually all the other legacy automakers, they have a button on the side here to memorize settings, which is kind of confusing. Who's 1? Who's 2? Who's 3? But in Tesla, you have the screen. You can just name it. Bjørn, Amory, Pavel, way better. And then on those, well, that's the problem, I guess, because in one user you can make an easy entry profile where you adjust the seat backwards, you adjust the steering wheel up, you do whatever you like, then you save it as the easy entry. But you only have one easy entry profile. What do you do when you have several easy entries with several people? Yeah. But at least I give it a 1 point there, 1 score. Okay. Show both inside and outside temperature. No, they haven't implemented that. It has a sensor for inside temperature. I know that because I've looked at it in ScanMyTesla. 0 points. Show elevation based on GPS. It doesn't have it yet. The e-Golf has it, I mentioned here. Even the MG I'm sitting in here also has it. It's really nice. Number 10, speed dependent volume has been implemented, and they call it speed sensitive volume. So it gets a 1. Yeah, that's good. 0 region toggle. No, you can't have 0 region in Tesla, and they haven't implemented anything where you can change region with a button from the steering wheel or something. So it gets a 0 for me. Pin on disabling remote access, that one has been fixed. So back in the days, you could steal a car and you could just disable remote access, and then the people can't track your car anymore. But they fixed it. It gets 1. Yes, you actually have to enter the user, the account's password. It's not even a PIN. It's even harder to crack than that. So that's good. Torque sleep independent on range mode. Well, back in the days, when you enter range mode, you get some nice energy savings, but then that wasn't with the P85D. But I think later they just implemented it so the car is efficient, regardless of if you're in ludicrous or chill mode or whatever. So that's why I also tried in the past. So you can say that they actually fixed that one in a way. Yes, the whole torque sleep has been fixed. Battery heater independent on range mode. That one hasn't been fixed. When you're in range mode, well, range mode it applies for Model S and X. Model 3 and I guess Model Y doesn't have range mode anymore. Then with the battery heater is disabled in range mode. So when you start driving, the battery heater won't run and stuff. So no, they haven't fixed it. Okay. You see, this is one of my silly requests. Range mode should be renamed to climate eco mode because range mode is kind of confusing. It's not really a very valid request, but they haven't done it. So I guess I gave it a 0. Yeah. Standard cruise control. Okay, you see, the problem is that when you have snow and schmutz on the radar and it's blocked, then you can't use adaptive cruise control. But in many EVs, like the Koreans and the i3, I think you hold down a button. I think usually the distance button. Hold it down for 5 seconds, then you disable adaptive cruise control and you're on manual cruise control. So you have to be careful, of course, because you could crash into the car in front. But at least you can do that. In Tesla, there's no way to enable the non-adaptive cruise control. So it gets a 0 point for me. What is this? Manual mode. Okay, this is something, again, a silly request from me. I would like to see that nice dial that you have in the classic Model S with the power gauge and everything. Because if you're driving manual, why the heck would you need to see all that Autopilot stuff? But they haven't implemented that, so it gets a 0. Average speed on trip meter is still not there. You see a timer, you see a minute counter, but then if you exit the car, come back in again, it resets. So it's kind of clumsy. Yeah, most other EVs, they have average speed in the trip meter. All right, power region line always visible like in the Model 3. They haven't implemented that in Model S and X yet. So yeah, it's very nice to have that power meter. You can see the dotted line for limits and stuff. Nope. Set typical. Yeah, it would be nice to set how much the typical is. Okay, I have to explain here. Every Tesla has a fixed rate for determining how much range you have. So it doesn't depend on how fast you drive or something. It's actually a myth. Many people think that, oh no, you have low range because you've been driving fast. No, it's not like that. It's a fixed rate. So it would be nice to be able to set it, but you can't do that. So you get a 0 from me. Okay, next one. GOM, guess-o-meter. Yes, I gave it. Let me see. What did I do with this one? Okay, I gave it 0.75, and I say trip estimation, because guess-o-meter is like most EVs out there. They will base it on your past driving habits, and then the range will go up and down depending on that one. But in Tesla, it's always fixed, but they have kind of implemented it in a better way, which is that when you navigate to somewhere, the car will take in account many factors: speed limit, elevation, temperature, and then it shows you how many % you will arrive with. And that's actually better than GOM, because the problem with GOM is that if you go down a mountain in the valley and you charge, right, the consumption goes down, and then the car will display high range, and then you think, ah, great, but then your next destination might be up a mountain, and then the car will trick you thinking that everything is alright, but then when you go up, you don't have enough juice. But with a trip estimation, you can see how much you will arrive with very, very clearly. And also, sometimes it might give you advice that you have to drive slower or that you have to charge and everything. So that one has been really well implemented. It's so good that I might even give it a 1, but I would give it 0.75. Alright, AP first beep shouldn't count as a strike. Yeah, that one hasn't been fixed. So, well, fixed maybe they don't want to fix it because they want people to pay attention. Yes, so you have to hold a steering wheel basically. I will not explain too much about some of these features. You should know what they are. Public charges and navigation has been added, but maybe it should be orange. It's not yet in Europe. I mean, all over Europe. Hopefully, they will implement it and add all the. I guess, what's it called again, hubject charging stations in there. So, yeah, I had lots of ideas how to implement this, so it just gets a 1 point there. Option to always show top bar and nav buttons, not auto hide. Yeah, the problem was in the previous version, the top bar disappeared, and then you had to press once to get it back and stuff. And yeah, too many clicks. I complain about that. But they redesigned the UI after the version 9, so it's completely different. And in a way, I could say, okay, it's actually slightly better. So yeah, I gave it 0.25 points. Yeah. Okay, next one. Charging points should be possible to delete or hide. When you visit a charging station, it will be visible there in all future. You cannot delete it, so it could be a little bit cluttered if you've been all over the place. So that one hasn't been fixed. Show speed cameras, no, it hasn't been fixed. Maybe Tesla doesn't want to implement it. Yes. Show weather, wind, temperature on map route. That one is actually a feature existing on EQC. Yeah, you can press a button and then you see clouds and sun and whatever. So that's really nice, man. But in the Tesla, you don't have that. But they, like I mentioned, they for estimating range, this part, they have done it when you navigate and you can see how many % you will arrive with, or even how many % if you go back to the starting point. So I gave it a 0.5 because that one is so good. Yeah, the trip estimation. Now we see a bunch of 0 here. Holy shit balls. Almost. Okay, choose routes like Google Maps. So when you navigate from A to B in Google, you usually get 2 or 3, or maybe, yeah, usually up to 3 options. You can choose which one you want, and you see how long they are, how long time they take. There is no option. Tesla just usually chooses the shortest route, sometimes even the slowest route. Multiple waypoints hasn't been added yet. I don't know when Tesla is gonna add that. Yeah, most other EVs have it. Tab for favorites and recent should always be visible. Okay, that one gets a 0 from me. It's a bit hard to explain, but when you are if you go to navigate and then you scroll down on your recent, then the whole top thing kind of disappears. So you, in order to go back to favorite or whatever, you have to scroll up again. So it's very clumsy. The top bar should be always visible. All right, option to delete all recent. Well, it could slow down navigation. I don't know if it applies to newer software, but sometimes you want to clean up where you've been, especially if you have a loaner. So the only way is to go to the recent, and then you have to just slide them off to delete them. So that's very clumsy. There should be an option to just delete all of them. Just delete for one day or something. I don't know. All right, 32 is smarter, much like Google. When it's very strict nowadays. When you navigate somewhere, even if you misspell something, you know, it's just, it can't find it. So it needs to be looser, more like Google, where you can just type something, Central Festival something, and then it will just know that it's Central Festival in Chiang Mai. All right, 33. Always visible button for doors. So in the Model X, you want to when you want to open and close the door, you have to click on one button first, and then you get all that button for opening and closing doors. So I think it's so crucial that it should always be visible somewhere. That has been fixed. 0 points. Adjust passenger seat from screen. Again, yes, it would be nice to be able to adjust it. Sometimes the Wi-Fi adjusts it way weird, and I'm like, oh, and then I have to bend over there to adjust it or something. Show country borders in night mode. Yes, okay, this is again somewhat specific for me, I guess, because I very often use night mode when I'm driving, and then if I only use the map mode, not the satellite view, then it's really hard to see the borders. But again, this is kind of corner case, because how often do you drive between the borders and always use night mode and never use, yeah, so, but okay, they haven't fixed that one. Show battery temperature. Okay, as an expert, you want to see that one, but you know what, the Byton will show you battery temperature, and also the Porsche Taycan shows you battery temperature. So Tesla, you want to be better than Porsche? Show battery temperature. Yes. Store settings in the cloud and load it in other Tesla. That's a really nice feature I would like to see, because if I get a loaner, if I just borrow a car, I would like to just load everything, load the steering wheel settings, the mirrors, everything, you know. They are just variables anyway, stored somewhere. So it's coming. It's not here yet. So I give it a 0. Show scale on map. Yeah, when you look on the map in the Tesla, there is no scale like you see in Google Maps. So that would be nice to see roughly how far we are. All right, voice commands for opening doors, panorama roof and stuff. Yes, they have implemented that. So yeah, I give it 1 point. Like, yes, give it 1 point. That's awesome. Disable adaptive cruise control for N minutes. The problem here, it's not the same problem I mentioned with the blocked radar. No, if you're on the new stretch of road, Tesla will usually phantom brake here and there, because Tesla, well, like actually many cars, they have this map dependent cruise control speed. So basically when you're driving in a sharp curve, it will slow down for you automatically, which is really nice. But the problem is when you have a new stretch of road, you're driving there, bam, 120 kilometers per hour, and then the car still thinks that it is 70 kilometers per hour and twisty, and that's where the Tesla usually brakes many places. But I drove the new stretch of road near Tvedestrand, 110 zone, with the EQC. EQC also slows down in curve, but the EQC seems to be more biased towards trusting what the car sees rather than the map, and the Tesla is more biased towards the map. So we need the Tesla to be more trust what it sees. Yes. All right. Changelog for software updates. Nope, it hasn't been fixed. Well, I mean, you can see what's the latest news, something, but I would like to see a complete changelog, more text style. That does, yeah, even that one would be great. So they haven't fixed that one, or maybe some people disagree and they will give it a 0.25. You could just take this one. This is Google Sheet anyway. I will make this available for the public, so you can just find it in my folder and you can change it the way you like. Delete whatever you don't like. And then night mode MCU. Okay, when I'm driving at night, I would like to switch off the MCU is the main screen, but this one was I guess a valid option for Model X. In the Model 3 though, you can't switch off the main screen because the speedometer and everything is there. But there should be some kind of night mode where it fades off most information and only have the whatever you need, and then maybe you can just tap once to bring up the map or whatever. So yeah. I know Saab has it. I never tried it, but I heard my buddy Morgan, he used to have a Saab, and there was some kind of night mode in the Saab where everything just go black except for the speedometer or something. Yes. So anyway, that was 42 features I would like to see, and if you count percentage, well, or maybe you disagree because I gave this one 2 points. Maybe you should set it back to 1 point. Okay, let's just set it back to 1 point. You see that they implemented about 1/4 of my request, and then if you take away, if you subtract 10 of those silly requests that nobody cares about anyway, then they actually implemented about 1/3 of what I would like to see. And how many car manufacturers does that? I actually don't know. I think Tesla is really forefront when it comes to listening to the feedback from customers and making software changes on their cars. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but to me it seems like Tesla is one of the best when it comes to making new changes. For example, when I look at the Ioniq, one of my favorite cars, the Ioniq I tried back in 2016, the end of 2016. If I look at the Ioniq today, they haven't really changed anything, have they? You still can't preheat the car if you're not plugged in. The instrument cluster or this infotainment screen hasn't changed. Maybe because many of those features can't be changed because there are simply too many buttons that has been, you lock the features to the buttons, whereas Tesla can change everything very freely. Yeah, I don't know. But okay, you know what I should do? I should make a new list, a new wish list, the 2020 wish list. What new features I would like to see? I have to, I guess, clean this list here, take out the silly request, make a new one, make new, I guess it could be 42 new features I would like to see, because they did fix 10 of those, right? The old ones. And then we'll see then if Tesla will listen to me or other people, and yeah, we'll see. So I think that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.